The line started early as curious onlookers descended on the courthouse.
I immigrated from China, so that I have interest to know what really happened.
These Chinese tourists set aside sightseeing and rushed over to the court this morning.
I think Huawei is our really important brand. I'm really proud of this Chinese brand, so I hope everything goes well.
The attention not surprising given that the case involves the CFO of a telecommunications giant. Meng Wanzhou, who listened to the proceedings with the help of an interpreter, is accused of fraud by the U.S. government. It asserts that between 2009 and 2014, Huawei used a shell company called Skycom to break U.S. sanction laws around exports to Iran. It alleges the fraud conspiracy was perpetrated at Huawei's highest levels, with Meng personally making key misrepresentations to one of Huawei's banking partners. Her lawyer said Huawei sold Skycom in 2009, arguing the company and Meng complied with regulations. The accusations and the politics have put Canada in an awkward position.
Canada is kind of caught in the middle of a proxy war between China and the U.S. It's not an enviable place for us to be.
But the question today wasn't about extradition, but bail. Her lawyer argued she isn't a flight risk because she has connections to Canada, including 2 multi-million-dollar homes in Vancouver. At one time, she was even a permanent resident of this country. If released, she's willing to hire a private security and surveillance firm.
The detention decision is the heart and soul of the extradition process. People with deep pockets can afford the best lawyers, private security 24/7, and a plan of electronic monitoring as if they're living in an electronic goldfish bowl.
Meng's lawyer says she wouldn't think of breaching any bail conditions because she wouldn't want to embarrass her father or China. But the Crown is making a rigorous argument against her release. The bail hearing is expected to continue on Monday. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Vancouver.
So as Meng's case puts Canada in the global spotlight, it is also highlighting the influential place her company has carved out almost everywhere. Senior business correspondent Peter Armstrong explains why what happens in Vancouver could be far-reaching and long-lasting.
By detaining Meng Wanzhou, Canada has landed in the center of a precarious trade war between the world's 2 economic superpowers. Huawei is everywhere, from corporate sponsorships to research centers around the world. It was founded on the principle that telecommunications was as important to the future of China as the military. Today, its equipment powers much of the global telecom system, but it's vying to build the next generation of networks, 5G.
Embedding Huawei equipment in our next generation of the 5G generation of cellular, for example, creates a really serious national security risk.
From the beginning, Huawei has been accused of stealing technology from its competitors. Cisco, Nokia, Motorola, T-Mobile, even Canada's Nortel have all said Huawei hacked into their systems to copy their technology. Every other member of the Five Eyes intelligence alliance has restricted Huawei's access to networks over fears it's a national security threat, not just spying on companies, but people as well. Huawei's intimate ties to China's political and military leadership only exacerbate those fears. China and the U.S. were already locked in an escalating trade war, which was already dragging down world markets. This arrest won't allay any of those concerns.
This is something that could potentially, lead to wider miscalculations that eventually draw these sort of hegemonic powers into rivalry with one another at a deeper level.
If China and the U.S. are drawn into a deeper conflict, growth slows, the entire global economy could seize up, and the impact of continues. Toronto.
Canada's PM was asked today how the case might be affecting Canadian-Chinese relations. He spoke to reporters in Montreal. Have a listen.
We have a strong and constructive relationship with China. I spent the weekend engaging with President Xi. We will continue to work with China and look for ways to grow our economy and benefit our citizens. In regards to the matter you bring before me, it would be inappropriate for me to comment as the matter is before the courts.